Hey, good afternoon. This is Pastor Daryl from The Quest. I'm just going to say up front, this one seems really weird to me. I just ran over to the store to pick up some trash bags for something I'm doing at the house. And as I was leaving, I felt like the Lord was impressing me to do a video telling a story about something that we personally went through many years ago. There are times in our life where God is leading us, directing us, but yet things keep coming against us. Opposition comes, attacks come, and it just doesn't make any sense. Now, let me just kind of back up, tell you the story, and then get to what I feel like God's leading me to tell somebody today. 1993. My wife was due to deliver our baby in just a couple of weeks, and the Lord led us to move from one church to another. And I know a lot of people would say, well, did God really lead? Yeah, he did. It'd take way too long to tell that story. It took several months, actually, for the Lord dealing with me before I finally gave in and did what the Lord told me to do. Anyway, we moved to Danville, Illinois, and 2 weeks later, we went back to where we used to live because my wife was, as I said, was due to deliver a baby. We didn't want to change doctors at that stage of the game. While we were down there, she was in the hospital. My baby daughter was born. I came back home to Danville and found our house had been broken into, and somebody had literally just pulled a moving truck up to the house and took a lot of our stuff, took my suits, took some of our furniture, just a lot of things. And it was just devastating. Probably the most devastating for my wife was they stole her wedding rings. We began questioning, okay, God, are you in this? And God blessed. God, it is phenomenal what happened. When we moved to that church, there was 18 people there. And that included my wife, myself, and our son. And then the 19th person was our daughter when she was born. The youngest person in that church was the previous pastor who had just retired at the age of 65. And we went into this church. We were young ourselves, in our 30s, and began questioning. I said, Lord, why? Because where we were at before, God had blessed us, prospered us. The church had grown. We were filled with young people, talent running out our ears. There was people in that youth group who literally went on to form a contemporary Christian group, not once, but twice, with two different groups, was nominated for a Dove Award and performed at the Dove Awards. We were blessed where we were, and God moved us. I'm questioning, okay, we moved into this old building, very old, built in the 1800s. Had a massive hole in the roof we found after we got there. Literally had a waterfall falling into the sanctuary, and it took literally months to find where it was at and to get it repaired. No sooner got it repaired on a Thursday, the following Tuesday, we were in the middle of a revival, and after service that night, I got a call from the Danville Fire Department. My church was on building and destroyed the building. Now, in that meantime, we'd been at the church at that time for 4 months. God had blessed, and we had grown from that original 19 people to where we were running in the 70s. That's quite a bit of growth in 4 months' time. I stood and watched my church building burn. And I thought, Lord, it's over. A great thing was happening. Satan has landed a blow, and we've lost. I couldn't see it then, but God was working through the midst of chaos. Somebody had broke into our church, robbed it, and burned it. And I couldn't see it then, but God turned that thing around into a blessing. While I was working with the police because of the break-in, they told me about another building that was for sale that they had been looking for, and they had backed out. They were going to put their Fraternal Order of Police hall in this building. It was a Jehovah's Witness building, and they were asking $398,000 for this building. I went and talked with them. We prayed about it. I really loved the building, but it was just like this wasn't going to happen. It was out of our price range for what we could do. And as I was praying one night, as sure as I'm sitting here right now, God told me to offer them $110,000. I thought they're going to laugh at me, but I kept hearing it. And so finally I called the realtor and offered them $110,000. Well, guess what? They laughed. They turned it down. So I let it go. But a couple of weeks later, the Lord said, call them up and offer them $66,000. And I said, Lord, they've turned down 110. Long story short, I offered them 66. They got mad. Finally, they said, what's it going to take? And the Lord dropped a number in my spirit. He said, offer them $139,000. So I told him we would give them $139,000. Lo and behold, they took it. The day that we signed the papers on the building, I'm sitting in this room with these attorneys, the representatives from the Kingdom Hall and their headquarters. And afterwards, one of the men said, when do we get the rest of the money? And the attorney said, that is the rest of the money. That's the price you agreed on. And the guy threw this papers across the desk and he said, we can't take that. And he said, you just did. It's already been signed. It's notarized. The sale is final. My point is this. None of it made sense, what we went through. The move didn't really make sense. The break-in certainly made no sense. The flooded sanctuary made no sense. The fire made no sense. Offering $66,000 certainly made no sense. But you know what? God came through and gave us a $400,000 building for $139,000. By the time it was all said and done, we got that building debt-free and another $60,000 in the bank to do upgrades and remodeling that we wanted to do to the building. The reason I feel like God's telling me to share this, because somebody watching, you're going through a situation right now that it makes no sense. God has asked you, told you to do something that is making no sense. And I'm just telling you, just do it. If you'll just trust God and do what he tells you to do. You ever think about Joshua? Joshua had been with Moses and saw the Red Sea part, and he knew, okay, God can do this. But that time that he saw it, Moses stretched forth his rod and God parted the waters and they walked through on dry land. But when God told Joshua to go into the Jordan River, it didn't part. He told him, walk into the water. You had to walk into a situation that looked hopeless, pointless. And when he did, the waters moved. The waters parted and they walked across. I'm telling somebody that God's telling you to do something that in your earthly reasoning makes no sense. Just do it. Trust God, obey him, and watch him move and see what he does for you. Just like he gave us that $400,000 building for $139,000, he can do the miraculous. That which seems ridiculous, he can do that for you. God bless you. Come back and see me again here at The Quest.